Hey, so just before this episode begins, I kind of want to give an explanation as to why things took so long. I didn't have my audio enabled in OBS for about 40 minutes when we were recording this episode without realizing it. And so there's a lot of freeform discussion in the beginning that I just kind of cut out that I'm hoping to retool later. And for about the first 30 minutes of this episode, I have no audio from my end, so I provided subtitles to show about what I was saying, although obviously heavily abridged where I know what I was saying. So I do apologize for that. That's part of the reason this took so fucking long. Um, but seriously, aren't going away. This episode was tons of fun. It was very informative. And we do have a couple other guests that we're cooking that we think will be very, very fun. So make sure you stay tuned for those.
Leon, as the new Jin, I'm making you answer first.
I was about to say, as the old Jin, I'm gonna make you answer first. Come on, oldie.
All right. Well, I mean, I started playing Siege in on release in 2015. But I mean, the game sucked. Like it was just like the game sucked. Like the esport was like they had started supporting it, but like it was still like very early days, and like the players were really bad. So like it wasn't fun to watch. Like as an old head, I still have a special place in my heart for like peak pit like Penta G2. They were farming plumbers. Like Evil Geniuses was the second best team in the world during that span. Like, come on. Um, but I stopped playing until it would have been Red Crow. Because in my middle school Spanish class, my classmates were like, "Have you heard of Siege? We should play Siege." I was like, "Sure." I was like, "I haven't touched it since the game came out." But I have been addicted like a crack addict since. Um, I went from like I started casting in like I think it would have been late 2018. Um, and I used to cast with Fat Crow. I casted a little bit with Jazz, but not much because he hadn't really gotten into it at that point. Um, but then from there, I ended up get offered to help run a league, and this was back in like late 2019, early 2020. And outside of CCS, there just like wasn't anything, like nothing. Like his EPS had like fallen apart after Swanky left, because the guys he gave it to were just not in it for the love of the game. Um, I never got my EPS prestige rating,
I'm
which
still waiting.
still
I'm
waiting.
still
I'll
waiting.
get it one day. But then from there, I just love the game, love I got the passion, the siege addiction.
You know, yeah. Like, let's see, as a okay, so I may be a new gen, but I actually got Siege on release. It was a gift for Christmas. And I got it on the Xbox, and I remember I booted it up, and I was like, it came out like 2015, so I was like, well, I was like 11 years old, or like 12, 11 or 12 at that point, and I was like, why are there other people talking to me through the internet? I don't like this. And I turned off my Xbox and I never played that game again. So I like didn't touch Siege again until like early 20 like late 2018, early 2019. Yeah, no, like late 2018. I like got it on Steam because my friends were playing it. My first season was like Parabellum, I think, or like Wind Bastion. And I just like I was playing like I was like playing casually because like I didn't like really play video games much. But then like the pandemic hit, and I was like, you know what? I have nothing better to do but to play like 20 ranked games a day and just be like an absolute degenerate. So like I grinded rank for a while. Then I like got into the comp scene. I played AEL season 1 and I smoked the shit out of Spiker. And then that was the highlight of my career. And then I
How many
retired
kills
like
did
a
you
year
have that
after.
game?
I got 12 frags.
Oh, never mind.
Hey,
Top of
hey.
my team. What are you gonna do, huh?
I
No,
have
but
to
like,
respect it.
yeah, no, that team we played, that was like old nomads. So that was like Beezer, Spiker, like I don't remember exactly because like that was back when like Neo was a thing, so like X24 and like all those old gen
Hater.
players. Yep, yep. So like yeah, it was like that era. That was like mid 2020. But like other than that, I was just like, I'm just gonna like scrim and just like chill with my team. And then like early 2021, I remember it was like I did like some production stuff like here and there, like hey, do you want to like help observe this? And I like sure, whatever, like cast this, like sure, like whatever, like just like T5 stuff. And then after that, in like early 2021, I was like, yo, I'm washed. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hang it up because like a month before that, a little guy by the name of Tofu_R6 DM me like randomly. I was like, hey, do you want to cast for my league? And I'm like, sure. So that's how I got involved with SFCL during like season 1. And then yeah, honestly, like that's how I got into the game, and then that's how I got into production. Was just like some random DM.
All right.
I don't think that like really anybody gets into prod any other way than just like it kind of just randomly happens one
It
day,
just happens
and then
randomly.
they're like, wait, this shit is kind of sick, low key.
Yeah, unless your name is Happyaka, when you've been like just casting by yourself in your room, watching like old Pro League VODs, and then like one day you're like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out for real, and then just like get T3 in like 3 months, like T2 in like 3 months. Like unless your name is Happyaka, like that stuff doesn't happen by chance. Especially like my role, like of like just producer. It's just like it's so weird because like especially when you're like looking from the outside in, right? Like if you watch a Twitch VOD of like a match, like there's 3 people you can easily identify, and that's the 2 people casting and the person that's watching the game. You're like oblivious to everything else that's going on, right? So it's just like, how do you get from like doing comp to like being a producer? Well, it just happens randomly. It's like again, like it kind of goes for every role in production. Like if you say something wrong, you're gonna get blasted for it. But so long as you say something right, you'll never get any mention. So it's a very like you can get critiqued really hard, and like it can get to your mental really easily because you're just never gonna receive positive, like barely ever receive any positive feedback. So it has to be a pretty resilient role, especially with casters, because like you gotta just say words, you know, and like
Dude,
what you say is forever.
Casters get dragged like behind the scenes prod, like they'll get like talked down on like if they're messing up. But like if a caster has to like fill for a few minutes because the invite bug or like a player just won't join lobby, like and you get forced to
Caster,
fill.
start the game.
Yeah,
Caster,
casters,
start the game.
where's the game? Why aren't we starting? Why are they talking?
No, my favorite comment in all of the Crucible for like the whole season in Twitch chat was someone going, "Why are there 2 people talking over the game? That's so weird."
Yeah, somebody in chat was calling the casters cringe, not because they thought their commentary was cringe, but the fact that they were actively commentating the game was cringe. And I was like, it was very obvious that it was some kind of it was like a console kid who probably had like only ever watched like FET or like
Which
Mingo
we had a
watch
lot of
parties. Yes, a lot. But like that like the entirety of the Twitch chat for Crucible was just mind-boggling. They
Yeah.
like,
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah, no, the fact that we had to like recruit like UCade and like a band of like all the other talent to just like go nuclear on Twitch chat during like the last like leg of playoffs was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah.
and it was so weird because the chat would go from like totally fine, no one was being weird, no one would be shit talking or like being out of pocket, and then just out of nowhere, the entire chat was like would just catch on fire, and like all of like the weirdest people on the internet were in Twitch chat in a nanosecond, and I was like, I just like I'd look over from my monitor doing socials, look at Twitch chat, and I'm just like, what happened?
going
What
on.
did I
Yeah,
miss?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what?
And don't you dare disrespect the king. Don't
Yeah.
you dare.
Yeah. Don't
Dude, talk down
don't
on
talk
stop,
down
and
on
you
the
might
king.
something might show up in the mail for you. Like the console community, I don't understand how they're such insanely passionate fans of Stompin'. Like I don't know what he's got them on, like what Kool-Aid he's given them, but like the console community loves stomping. Like that might be God. Like like it's got to be a cult. Like I don't get it.
You know, it's bad when even he's starting to be like, "Hey guys, can we like dial it back a little bit now?" Because I saw him say something about like how other pros aren't liking him because
Yeah.
of it. So it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But I
Not
mean,
quite.
I've said it to Zay before. I was like, I definitely think that like Stompin is like the new gens like Bolo or like the console Bolo
Yeah.
because like
Yeah. No.
I can't think of like another player who's had like such high expectations and like fandom before like even like competing in anything like
Yeah.
real
Because like,
because
I
the
mean,
Winter Series was the first actual like comp event that he had played in.
he played him. The
I mean,
only other player I could think about that had a good, like a decent following was Sploit, but it
Yeah.
just doesn't match. It does
yeah,
not like compare.
I would say Sploit definitely wasn't as hyped going
Yeah,
into
no.
like PL, because he'd always been a lot more focused on his content creation than competing in like P2 and stuff. So
Mhm. Yeah, no. Like you beat JJ and Snake. Like relax. Yeah.
I definitely think that they honestly have like a solid chance going into the Challenger Series. Like me and Gian have talked about it. I think I talked to you about it a bit, Ali. But like them getting Merc as their coach is like
It's huge.
insanely like because like they're none of them are like bad mechanically. Like it's never like a big thing that the console community doesn't like acknowledge is no one's like really disrespecting their mechanics. It's like the way they fundamentally play. So like having someone like Merc in who is, I mean, an SI winning like an SI MVP, like he has a hammer. Like it's not like they have some like bub coaching them. Like like they have one of the best
Bubs
players
are
that ever
sticks.
touched the game. So and he's taking it seriously. He's not just like being like a troll coach. Like he's fully like taking it seriously. And it's like I
Yeah,
mean
he said it in his post match interview.
yeah,
Like he turned down
just
like T1 offers
yeah.
just to coach them. So
Yeah.
And like seeing their improvement just from like element 4 going into like the winter series was really impressive. So like
Yeah.
given like a few more like a month or two more of scrimming and if they keep it up, like I could totally see them making a deep run, if not falling, to be honest.
Yeah. Because I mean, even that one like 3 game stint they had in just that one day, it's like a huge turnaround from like their first play day. And I remember
Yeah.
that it was being like, oh, it's like okay, they just took down Friendship Team, and then they took down like some other team in the same or RTV Friendship Team, and then 1HP, which I I about lost my damn mind
well,
watching
That
that
1
1HP
HP
game.
game was one of the worst matches I've ever watched.
Like, I don't know if you remember how much I about lost my damn mind on one of those rounds, but it was bad.
The 2v4 that they threw.
Mm-hmm.
That one
Oh no, it was a 5v2. It was a
oh yeah.
5v2. It was
5v2
even
post
worse.
it
plant
was
and they
on
lost the
taunt, right?
round.
On
Yep.
taunt. Yeah.
It-
Yeah. I will say though, props for 1HP for just not straight up disbanding that whole
oh
event.
yeah.
Like that was like mad respect. I gotta say, like
Like,
that's
thank
great.
you. Thank you for not giving 3 points.
No. I already had Washington Wizards nuke like my group B. I didn't need 1HP nuking group A. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Mr. B, if you're watching this, fuck you. By the
yeah,
way,
fuck you. Roster terrorist, Mr. B. Like
Good.
I love Lachlan. He's great.
Oh
yeah.
man. Yep.
I met
Oh
Lachlan last time. He's chill. He's a good guy. Like
yeah.
well, what a go.
Hey, huge.
absolutely huge.
Mr.
Well, I
British.
guess circling back a bit, Zay, Zay, you already kind of touched upon it a little bit, but I mean, like, how did you actually get into producing?
Yeah.
Like, because you didn't
Um,
start off with it
yeah.
initially, but I mean, you eventually got into it somehow.
So I had like some OBS experience, just like me, like messing around, and like running like some like weekend tournaments. I remember I ran like one weekend tournament like in like 20 like early 2019 or something. It was like a long time ago. And that was like a very one-off thing. Um, it was with this one guy called Clifford. I haven't talked to him since, but um, and then when I got reached out to by Tofu to do stuff for SFCL, I was like, sure, why not? I already knew by that point I didn't want to be like an on-camera crew, and I kind of knew what role I kind of wanted to slot into because I watched SCS. And like SCS 3 ran, and I was like yeah, this is pretty cool. Like they got like these stats and stuff, and they do this cool stuff. Um, and so like I remember that because that was the first like league that SCS ran because SCS before then was just running tournaments. And they were also called Siege Central Station. But like I find who's the one that's running show, and it was Ferme, and I remember like DM'd him. I was like, hey, like this is cool stuff. And I was like, I didn't know anything like then. But I was just like, as a player, like, this looks really cool. And it was like, hey, yeah, thank you. And that was like the first interaction I actually ever had with Ferme. And then like I wouldn't like end up talking to him again for like a very long time. And then I get into SFCL season 1, and then I'm the one that kind of like made sure to break up observing, casting, and producing. I was like, these are very different roles, and like making one person do any like set of these like at the same time is just gonna be too much. So I made sure to make that like a standard for that because it was just like it's way too much.
Wait, were
So
you guys wait, real quick? Before, did Tofu have someone doing observing and producing at the same time?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes even casting.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah. Well, because that's kind of how T4 leagues were at that point.
We had with RSA we were blessed because I had Bubs. I got it without Bubs, RSA never happened because he was our
Uh,
dedicated producer.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That was a
sorry.
different bub from the other bubs.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
an
there's another
airplane
bubs
pilot
that's
now.
racist.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
racist Bub,
yeah,
cool Bubs.
cool bubs. Yeah. So like going back, what was it? Yeah. So I get involved like SFCL. I like make sure to like split up roles, and then I kind of get involved in just like running show because like at that point like I wasn't making any graphics, I wasn't doing anything, I was just kind of messing around. And that's like when I met like a lot of the people that I still work with today. So like Scott, Fellow, like all those people all got their start in SFCL. Like Fellow was doing like console stuff, and then just got picked. Like just said, I'm gonna move to PC. Scott like Tofu met in a casual match and was like, you should cast, which is like a crazy lore piece by the way. The fact that he's casting now because he was just in a random casual game with Tofu. And yeah, and then it was I remember me and then like my old like prod duo was this kid named Narwhals because he just really wanted to do observing. I was like, remember Narwhals? Yeah,
That's a throwback. That's a throwback.
yeah. Which like if anybody like was in the scene at that point, you hear Narwhals, you sure remember what happened with Rizzer, but that's a different thing. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so I was like, all right, you know what? Like, if you want to commit to observing and I want to commit to producing, then we can just run this shit. So we basically ran like almost all the broadcasts for the season, and then that's how I got a lot of reps. And then I was like, for season 2, I was just like, okay, we need to rework a bunch of stuff because I just didn't like the direction that we were going in, like that of the graphics that were made. And without going too in depth with like all the headache, like season 2, I was like starting to oversee like, like how graphics were made, and like I was just picking up a lot of things to learn. So like season 2, we had stuff like map veto graphics and like predictions and all that stuff. So it's like slowly building up stuff. And then season 3, it was actually a very opportune time because by that point, SCS ran and was in VMix, And the problem with VMix, at least for me, being a sophomore in high school, was like at that point, VMix was a perpetual license, and it cost like $2,000. It was just like, I just don't have this money. But then luckily that summer, VMix dropped a subscription license. I was like, sure, why not? So that's why I picked up VMix. And then by that point, I've gotten a little more familiar with Photoshop, but like truly to any like aspiring producer out there that like wants to get their hands on like start doing stuff on like remote broadcasting, like building a VMix package is a very good way to learn, because like you just get so familiar with the program so fast, and you learn all of its quirks. And like if you really like try to push VMix for what it can do, it can pay off very well for you. And like the amount of stuff that you learn is really good. Obviously at that point I didn't push it like super far because I didn't know, right? But I learned a lot from building that first VMix package. And I mean the rest is kind of just more of the same, like just running more SFCL seasons, making more graphics. And then October of like during the fall of 2023, I started my senior year in high school, and I kind of just hit like I had a slump in production, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. The amount of paid gigs I'm getting is just like collegiate stuff, and it's like the money's like okay, but like it's just like I kind of just want to like take a break, enjoy my last year of high school with my friends, and just so I like started to take a break. I remember I was getting flown out to Geneva, Switzerland, because I was representing my home country, Puerto Rico, for a robotics tournament. And at that point, SFCL was also running like their 5th season, and I just wasn't involved. I was super hands off. But I saw like the direction that they went with and the quality, and I was like, well, yeah, this is cooked. But then I also at that point is when I got the DM from Ferme. He was like, hey, like, do you want to work SCS7 with me? I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. I was like, and that like got me pretty pumped to get back into things. I ran the season 5 grand final. I made like its own package for that. I just started to get back into the groove of things, and then I went under Ferme's wing, and he taught me a lot. He kind of pushed a lot of what like he kind of pushed my skill set to do things that like I just hadn't done before, like a more like sophisticated run of show, more like complex graphics, segments that I just never ran before, because like frankly it just wasn't like one, I didn't have the time, and 2, like the payoff just wasn't there for like something that just didn't pay that much, like stuff like operator bands and stuff like that. It's just like do I really want to build this? But like it really pushed my skill set, and it got me a lot more polished in like directing and like short stuff. And like also just working with him showed me like a lot of like how things kind of are supposed to run, from like a show building standpoint. And like I learned a lot of stuff, like not to like bore you with like details, but SCS7 was like a big learning step for me, and it kind of just reignited like the drive to just keep going. And then I knew that like I was being looked at to do something for Challenger League that year, but like the problem was I just wasn't 18. Because like Grave was like, yeah, you'd be a good replay op, like to like do CL and stuff with me, because at that point Preston was running it on their Face It. I was like, well, like the producer spot is filled, but like if you want to like fill for me, like do like CL replays. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And he was like, how old are you? I'm like 17. And he's like, fuck. So that like I was like, well, like I'm just kind of stuck. And so that was another reason I was just like, I'm just gonna take a break, like whatever. So like I'm kind of just stuck where I am at the moment. But then I finally turned 18. I work at CS7, and then like during like February, like during the off season, I was planning the 6th season SSCL, and I like fully like took over like the creative direction and everything for that season. And I like secured more funding. It was a fun like season to run, but another like just wrench was thrown, which was that like I got a DM on like March, and it was like from Furman. It was like, hey, do you want to work Blast Star 6 regional broadcast? And I'm like, what? Like I was like, hey, you want to work T1? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's fucking do it. So I got brought on for like to TD some like regional stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And I remember the first like the turnaround time for that stage 1, 2023 was ridiculous. Like, we got all the graphics and assets sent to us, I think 2 days before we went live. And we had to create and integrate an entire broadcast then. I remember that first night where I got the DM, it was a Thursday night, and he was like, okay, cool, we need to VC so that we can make the graphics package. And I'm like, roger that. We stayed up until like 2 a.m. for makeup, working till like 4 or something like that. That was a very long weekend, but we got it done. It was a lot of fun. And then yeah, I did some TD stuff for Blast R6. I got to like meet and work with a lot of people that I thought I'd never work with ever. Like a lot of people from EU. Like I got to work with Guz and Oxmanic. I got to work with, like Intero, like Pengu, like just everybody in the T1 circle. And I was like, wow, like this is really cool. And yeah, like I did stage 1, then college starts. I turned down stage 2 because I was like, I just don't know if I can, like, because I was in a dorm. I was like, I just don't think I can run this because it was like long hours. It was weird hours. I was covering stuff like Korea League and Japan, which like call time was like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm just like, I'm a college student now. I don't think I can commit to this. So I turned down stage 2. But it worked out in the end. Because for that next year is when I got picked up to be the AP for NAL 2024, and that was a position that is very like, it just fits me really well because my role is essentially show building and quality control to a sense. So show building, like I just make show graphics and assets, any videos, any replay highlights that you see of like with like the custom HUD and stuff like that. Any like custom graphics you see for like the desk. I also built like a bunch of like I built basically their entire stats backend for the NAL. That's a ridiculous spreadsheet, but like that was a lot of fun to do. So it's just like basically I just like help build the show wherever I can, and then when the show's running, I'm kind of hands off, but I just need to like just make sure to watch the show, make sure that if there's any quality stuff that I notice, I just make sure that it's like reported and stuff like that. So it's something that's like a lot more suiting to me because I can work on my own hours. And that's something that's been going pretty well for me. And then I got to work SI, which is also sick. Firma was like, hey, I need someone else to like cover for me when I need to take a break. So I was the B Stream relief director, and that was a lot of fun. I got to go to Brazil, and I got to meet like
Brazil one, yeah.
people. Yeah, this was 2024, and that was just like super cool. And I got to meet like a lot of the Blast people, and it was just a great experience. Like just going to Brazil, and just like it was really good. But yeah, that kind of sums up like a lot of my production experience leading up to this point. Yeah.
So, important question. Were you working the NAL when the Andrew incident happened?
I was working the NAL when the Andrew incident happened. That was hilarious. That was stage 2. I can't say exactly what happened, but I can say this. Some links were distributed. Andrew may have clicked the link thinking that it was his, but was being used for something else. And he ended up hijacking an interview, and it was hilarious.
Oops.
It was hilarious.
That screenshot is so funny.
That image of Andrew is hilarious.
It's so funny.
It's the pure like, oh.
Like with that still image, like you can see like Andrew's heart drop, like him pee himself a little, like it's a complete like story in one image.
It's literally, you can see the I fucked up look on his face. It's like you can tell in that moment he's like, ooh, whoops.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that was something. But yeah, that was a great time. There's a lot of Andrew production moments.
Do we have time to list all of them?
No.
Because we've already wasted so much time getting to this point.
We need a director's
know,
cut.
right? Real.
For real.
Just expand. It's just the whole thing. Oh, other things that I worked with that were pretty fun. Breaking Point was a lot of fun. Jacob DM'd me. I was like, hey, yo, let's make something. I'm like, bet. So we make Breaking Point, and I mean, the best way to describe that whole experience was as Jacob's trailer said, a massive circle jerk of NAL teams and Element teams. Like that's what it was. It was great. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of moments where I just like said like, I'm just gonna do this now. Like there was this one round where the entire round like turned black and white because it was like kind of a known bug in Siege. At that point, I was like, you know what? Watch this. I make the feed grayscale, and this gas. I just have to start gassing. It was great. What else? Like,
Were you the one that gave us the Gavini rounds?
I did give you the Gravina rounds. It was great. Okay, that grand final, that DZ versus I don't know who it was. Triple G.
Mirage? Wait,
No.
hold on. Who was
was-
it? No, hold on.
It was. I don't think it was.
I need to go look that up 1 second.
I want to say it was
Yeah,
like
uh,
ATK, like the team that was SSG Academy. could be
Oh
wrong,
no, it
though.
was Dark Zero SSG for the very first one.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Because that was like a 2-0, and it was just a snooze fest of a series. So we're like, you know what, Gavini round. So I just put up Gavini. I was like, whatever. It's just like I don't know. It's just a way to just have because the third place match was ATK versus Triple G. You just forfeit it. So I'm like, okay,
That
no, that's fine.
that tournament also has my favorite tactical timeout lesson in ever because it was like SSG Academy. The fucking coach is like, look, guys,
We have to
you
crank.
gotta just crank, right? I can't really
Right.
elaborate on that. You gotta just crank, right?
Yeah, just
Unfortunately, not much more. It was just that for a minute straight, and then you just hear like fellow come back. He's like, so what's the analysis I can provide on this? It was
Yeah,
so
I remember
funny.
we couldn't. I remember the control room. We heard that for the whole rest of the day. We could not stop saying crank. Like it was great. It was so much fun.
There
That
was
was
like
a good day. But yeah,
there was some fucking thing where Gunnar was in an interview and he's like, yeah, you play SSG, you hear them scream the word crank, then all of a sudden 5 guys are just in sight.
5 guys inside. You know, but yeah, I think Breaking Point is probably one of like my like highlights as a producer because I got pretty much like full creative control over it. Jacob commissioned a logo from Jesus Barillas, sorry. And he kind of knew that he wanted this gold and navy blue, and I was just super for it because like up at that point I was stuck with this like fuck ass SFCL logo. I just couldn't escape like just red, orange, like it was just all the same, like just slop all the time.
Was this before
Um,
the Aztec cock ring incident?
This
What?
was before and after.
Oh no!
What?
nice.
That's what we call the last
The-
iteration of the
last
SFCL
iteration.
logo,
Yeah, the
What?
Aztec
Du-
clock ring.
dubbed
Because
by Harrison.
we announced it wasn't Harrison.
Was it not Harrison?
It was Jazz.
Oh yeah, it was
I
Jazz.
don't-
Yeah,
That's right.
we announced a rebrand, and then the Jazz band like replied, "What the fuck is this Aztec cock ring doing on my screen?"
Is there somewhere I could oh my god. Oh, I see now.
Yeah, I
I
don't think there's a
see.
lot of Aztec cock ring instances on X.
Nope.
Dude, what the...
Oh, okay. Pro tip: do not look up Aztec
Oh, yeah,
cock ring. on
I
X.
just looked up at Jazzman Aztec. Not liking the results I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Not. That was a bad idea, actually.
Thank God Royal isn't wearing glasses right now. Otherwise, we would have to do so much blurring.
I'm gonna post Zay saying pro tip: do not look up Aztec cock rings as like a teaser for this episode. Just that clip completely out of context on Twitter.
Out of
Oh,
context. You know what?
God.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works.
It's
Great.
It's not the worst thing you said during the conversation, by the way, because there was stuff that happened before the camera was rolling.
Yep.
that
Hey, I
was
dropped some
also
bangers.
said.
Let's just say we had a incident with Coca-Cola,
Oh,
and it
no.
was in my pants, and it was everywhere. So. But anyways, breaking point.
That's
So,
my
I got,
co-owner.
I
Yep.
got full creative control pretty much for the entire broadcast package, and like the colors were just so starkly different. That was just
Mhm.
like, let's cook, and like I made like a broadcast that like I'm pretty proud with, like not just with like the result, but like just like all the art and the graphics and how we went with it. It wasn't perfect, but it was one of the things I was most proud of. And it's just like it was just so refreshing to like finally just break out of this like SFCL like slop mold, um, and just do something different. Um, and like that's the thing. It's just like I love making graphics, and I was just so like stuck in this just like mold of SFCL, and like being able to just break out of it was great. Something else that helped a lot was I did an SI qualifier like package for Jacob and like Carter and Connor. And just being able to like design the style of SI was also pretty cool. Wildcard Restart was something else. It's like another project that like I just could do something different.
The playing card
like-
team graphics.
Yeah, the playing. See, that's the thing. It's like the playing card team graphic. Like I like the idea, but like you can do so much more with it. But given the turnaround time, I was pretty proud with it. So
Was it you that put all of SSG shirtless on the broadcast?
yes, yes. I
So
remember that moment. I pushed them live, and okay, it was Harrison was looking because we had two feeds. We had one parsec feed like for the the casters, like they could parsec into the observing machine and just watch real time. We had vmix return, and we also had a Discord return. And fellow was watching the parsec clean feed. And Harrison was on the Discord one. And then John was just like, fellow was just yapping about like something, like some color point of the round, and just gets interrupted by Harrison going, "Whoa!" And then fellow goes like, "Wait, whoa, what's going on?" He's like, "Tune into Discord." And then fellow joins in. And he's like, "Wow, get me in there!"
yeah.
That was a great bit by them, though. That was a S tier bit by SSG.
So that was their idea. That was
Yeah,
them.
I mean,
okay.
Gian, did you ask them to be shirtless?
No.
I was
I
talking.
was in the shits, bro. I did not have time for that stuff.
I was talking to someone, and we were trying to figure out if it was them that did it or like a Zay idea, because we thought either one was a very real possibility.
Wow, that's crazy.
Is it
Am I wrong?
No, no. No, knowing you, Zay, it's not out of the question.
Yo, what the fuck? That's crazy.
We didn't.
Crazy.
Okay, I'll give him
I
credit.
say it how it is.
We didn't even ask JJ to recreate the GIF. That
That's
was
true.
all of his own volition. And then, like, when he ripped off the shirt and started air humping during the interview, I would thank God I was muted in Discord because I was dying laughing. Because I was like, it went from like a totally normal interview with JJ to him being shirtless, air humping, and I was just like, this is like a fever dream.
Honestly, yeah. Props to JJ, because bro knew he was against the entire console community, and he did not give a fuck. That bro put on a performance time after time.
He stood on business. I mean, he might have lost in
did.
the end, but I respect sticking to the shit talk.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So much shit talk, especially with JJ. Every
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yep. Never fails to deliver. Not once.
Not once.
He also had one of my strangest casts of recent times when he just like decided to hold W against fucking Team Cruelty, and they couldn't figure out how to deal
Oh
with it
my
for
God.
2 fucking maps.
Like,
It-
JJ
it-
beat them at their own play style. It was
Dude,
so funny.
It is on maps like that that I regret learning how to do color casting, man. It was so fucking awkward.
It's just no.
Although another thing we wanted to ask was, fun fact, Royal's also done stuff. You did RSA, which you
No.
kind of touched briefly on, but you also, if I recall, were the manager for Card and Co. and during the time they were in Element 1, kind of trying to find an organization for PL, which unfortunately didn't work out, but just kind of what was that whole time like for you?
Yeah. Well, like right after RSA like ended, and, like we had to pull the plug on it. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 months later that SFCL4 happened. And that was actually my first time doing like socials after RSA. Because during RSA, I didn't do socials. We were paying not Sod. Shout out my goat, Joe Esports.
Odd.
But we had
Son.
him doing socials. But I was like, I remember that I think it was from a Zay tweet when they were looking to bring on staff. And like I just hit up Tofu. It was like, or I hit up Zay or Tofu. It was like, hey, you like I'll do socials. Can I just tweet what I think is funny? um, and it kind of just spiraled from there. I think after SFCL 4, um, I think I went straight into working. It would have been the last stage of CL when they got rid of relegations and the promotions.
Hmm.
I worked that last stage and then the final, doing socials. Shout out Preston, my goat. Um, and then from there, I worked with Ariel for like I think like 2-ish years doing their socials and content with them. But then after I left Ariel, a good friend of mine, Kyle Wi-Fi Galati, now retired, joined Karn and Co. And they were looking pretty good going into E1. Um, but like I realistically, I didn't think they were gonna win it. like, like Get Back Gang should have beat them in that series. But they really showed out in that series. But we spent 8 months, is how long I was with Karn and Co. And it was just literally 8 months straight of like hitting up orgs, reaching out to orgs, and trying to acquire a license, which unfortunately ended with Los getting the license. So we kind of just had to hold the L, and then they lost to Envy and Element 2. Um, but then after E2, the team kind of just melted. I mean, Card and Co has
Not looked the
not
same
been the
since.
same. Yeah.
Nope.
So after Card and Co, I took a bit of time off, like away from the scene. I was gone. I took a break for like I think close to like 8 months. Um, because like I wasn't around for like any of Element 1 or 2. I was just doing my own thing, doing like working on myself and going through the personal trenches, if you will. And then I came back to the Siege just because I mean, like, there's no other game like Siege. Like I've been playing this game for almost a decade now, and like there's just no other game that hits like Siege does, and like the community is pretty great. And like me and Gian have talked about it. The level of like how fleshed out like our tier 3 and tier 2 scene is compared to like CS or League or Rocket League is really crazy. Like
Hmm.
the quality standard and like how like TOs operate in the space is just not like other games. Um, and I've just always just loved Siege. Like the game has a chokehold on me. Um, so I came back and got the offer to do socials for the Element 3 Pro AM. I think it was in like June of 2024.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
it was
then
last June.
yeah, so then off the back of that, I ended up working the Esports World Cup, like the Rainbow Six portion, doing socials for them, which was pretty crazy for me because I went from doing tier 2 R6 socials to what is one of the most expensive events ever hosted. Like I think like the total budget was somewhere like around like $1 billion. Like it was,
Jesus
yeah, just
Christ.
like insane. Like I mean, like for reference, there was like when I was working EWC, which was only for a week. There was like a team of like 50 people doing socials like across all the titles and stuff.
Hmm.
Which was just like pretty pretty mind-boggling because like for Element, like it's just me. There's no oversight. I just kind of like I have to like look at it. I'm like, can I post this? Should I post this? And then send or don't send tweets. But for EWC, I'm like tweak it out, like because I'm like, dude, I don't want to tweet something bad and then like actually fuck up. Because like with like Element, like I can mess up. It's like it's tier 2 siege, like it's fine. But for EWC, I was like, I'm gonna get fucking shot, man. Like I was like, I'm not trying to troll. Um, but then after EWC, I think is when I first. No, it would have been before EWC, but I reached out to Zay about getting involved with SSCL and bringing it back. Then I think it was right, or was it earlier than that,
It was
John?
during SI.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was during SI because that was right before I came back.
Yeah, because during SI 24, I got the itch, and then you
Yeah,
got the itch.
yeah. I was like, I was literally on the brink of bringing back RSA, and then I was like, I wonder what Zay's doing. Because I was like, I need a producer. I can't produce. Like this is not my thing.
We did learn that
Um,
during Crucible.
yeah.
Good.
Well, I ran replays, so for a first time doing VMix, the fact that replays got ran is crazy.
Half
yeah.
your talent was muted.
Okay, one thing at a time. He hit buttons. The stream started.
Yeah, I
We'll
got the
take your
stream.
win.
The stream was live on time. The match started only 5 minutes behind schedule. Like that's not bad. The talent can stay muted. They're just yapping.
A win is a win.
um, but then from there, me and Gian have just been working together for the past like 8 months now on Crucible, um, and it's just purely out of like a love of the game and the community and wanting to see and help it improve and continue to flourish because it's been in the shit since SCS went away.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
think having that like high, like really high kind of T3, like bordering on T2 thing, like not having that has been, I think, something that we've missed a lot. Because not to say that like things like XGS and TPL are bad, but like just SCS was like its own thing. Like it was fucking SCS. Like it was like the big leagues outside of the big leagues. So I definitely think that having, something to kind of fill that void is going to be beneficial. I also just think having more stuff running in T3 is good because from a caster perspective, there's not much going on for me right now. Like I'm doing this. Blitz Riot's happening. But that's not like a big like
No official
production.
at the
I,
moment.
I'm just kind of going to a team yelling, "Hey, you're being co-streamed," and then just like looking at the game, going, "Wow, it's a video
Yeah,
game."
it feels like how CL was back in like 2018 or 2017 when we didn't have an official broadcast and it was literally just like, okay, who's available and it can't like do they have permission from ESL to stream? Because like it was like the Wild West. Like I remember I observed like I observed a few play days for like CL back in the day just because they needed someone and I got a DM from I think it was Uzumaki. He was like, "Hey man, have you observed before?" I was like, "No, but I probably can." like the quality standard for like how T2 was like doing then, especially even like compared to now, was like completely night and day. So like it is sick to see like how like the scene is still a lot better off right now than it is then. But like it's crazy to see how far
Yeah.
it's come and like still like back to what I was saying earlier, comparing it to like other scenes. Like if you pull up like a T3 CS league, oh my god, it is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially since Xenon's now doing or gonna try to do its own like just tier 3, tier 4 only thing. Because like last year or two, it's been kind of weird because a lot of the tier 3 events are basically tier 2.5.
Yep.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
nice
there's
to actually get something that's purely tier 3 and tier 4. So it's
who was it that made like that like tweet? Like,
It was a
wasn't
one
just
HP
call to
player.
action.
It was a one HP player.
Oh my god, yeah. There you go.
I think it was Seinfo. He made a tweet. He was talking and I disagree with like some of like the thought process behind it because like I definitely think that there is a serious benefit for lower quality teams to even like have the opportunity to play against like higher quality teams because I think that like
Always.
game day reps versus like purely scrims like will help you improve so much more.
Yeah.
Especially being able to like look back on game day and like be like, okay, what did we actually mess up versus like being able to determine like were they just playing like this because it's scrims or like I think because M80X you could see it a little bit from like their first like couple of games where like it kind of looked like they weren't ready for like how teams were playing because of just the overly structured nature, especially compared to like the teams they were walking through in quals. Because I think in quals they dropped maybe like 20 rounds total.
Yep.
Um, So, but like when Seinfeld made that post, like he was talking about how he was not a big fan of like how you guys were talking about the like a lot of tier threes like or like, quote unquote T3 was just like basically tier two events with like makers or fluffy gamers winning.
Yep.
like um and he made the post talking about how he wanted more like strictly tier three leagues, but like I I don't think there's ever been a time where we've had like strictly tier three leagues.
No.
Like
I mean,
there's like always been tier two teams who are gonna want to
yep.
compete and want to get more
Mhm.
reps in.
Like I do see the utility in the sense that I think like there needs to be a space for teams that aren't gonna qualify for like TPL over like makers, but I also think like when I was playing, I would have fucking killed for the opportunity to like lose a best of 3 to makers in TPL playoffs. Like that would have been I would have sat there like coming over the match replay for fucking weeks. Like um but it is also like still beneficial to have a bit of both. Like having things like TPL or uh Xenon Rite of Passage and Blitz Riot every so often is good, but like I think it was just that like it was like only things that were like tier 2.5 for a while because you'd have like an element in like January and then there's nothing tier 2 until like September when the next one begins.
Yeah,
And so like all the T2 teams are playing in like Xenon and TPL and just whatever the hell else is going on.
yeah, because
Okay.
go ahead, Joe. Speak your
Okay.
mind,
This
King.
might be a hot take. Yeah, hot take.
Uh-oh.
All right. Oh boy, here we
But
go.
I think a good chunk of the reason why these lower level like tier 3 or like T4 teams want a space just for themselves is because they want to feel the dopamine of winning a game.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is like
Yeah.
that for some teams, but I do think that like when you have people who are newer, it is beneficial to be able to go into like a game day environment without like fucking Packer and Kobe like staring you down. Because with
I
stuff
can
like
get that.
yeah, because
Mhm.
with stuff like AEL, like it does kind of get like clowned on a little bit, which you know they had an Andrew Tate quote in their fucking production package, so like not all of that is undeserved. But I do kind of vibe with their mission of like this is like the first place that like your team's gonna get streamed like when you're like first getting into production or like this is where like your first cast is gonna be. Like I think having some things that are specifically targeted at people with less experience in both the competitive and production side is something that we need more of.
Mhm.
Because I think just like a balance of the two was needed. So like more rite of passage and riots type
I
things
I
coming out.
Yeah.
I think like the biggest thing that contributed to it was like obviously like the fact that there was like 290 days between
Mm-hmm.
E2 and the Element
Oh
3
yeah.
Pro AM.
Yep.
Like that's brutal. Like
Yep.
it was a really long gap. But I also think that like TPL and XGS definitely like they've been continuously stepping up like their game from like
For
a production
sure.
standpoint and
Mhm.
as TOs like Andrew, Stan, and Matt have all like leaps and bounds better than when
Mm-hmm.
they started. Like, and that's just kind of what's gonna happen like regardless.
Yep.
So like having them be like extremely competent and like talented producers and like having the passion to commit to it like it was kind of inevitable that like
Yep.
you're just going to continue to attract like better and better teams.
Mm-hmm.
And even like with the winter series, we initially we didn't think like cruelty was going to accept it, to be honest. And like friendship team, they probably wouldn't have accepted if I didn't tell Galati, hey man, y'all are playing in this. Like we're if we're gonna give you like you guys are like supposed to be the like a T1 team that's like that should be able to hang with these guys. The prize pool's here, but like they barely wanted to play, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
so like when people are like with Scytho's tweet talking about how like um the T3 dedicated spaces, I definitely see like the value in it, and I really think that like honestly I've been pretty impressed with AEL. Like I
Yep.
think for like what they're operating at and like what they're aiming for, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm definitely excited to see what they do for the next season.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is definitely something that I I've casted for them a little bit. It is fun, although I mostly casted them now to just shut on 80 into oncoming. You know,
Yeah.
as you do. Um,
As you do.
but there's kind of a big thing with the Crucible that I think is worth discussing, which is that it was self-funded, which is very, very impressive in its own right. So provided you were willing, kind of how was that whole thing done?
Yeah, well, I mean, so originally we spent 3 months. Well, no, Zay, I'm gonna let you get to it, Bubba. Don't worry, I got you, Pookie. But we spent like
maybe too soon for Zay.
3.5, 4 months. Because our original plan was to bring back SFCL and run a pro am. Like that was our goal. Like to come out of the fences like really swinging. We spent like 3.5, 4 months. Like
That was our idea
rebuilding.
before Element did their pro-am, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that was the plan since like March.
Yeah. So like we spent like I think it was like roughly like a month kind of like figuring out what we wanted to do, what the budget would need to be, and then kind of rebuilding everything that needed to be rebuilt, which was quite a lot because at that point SFCL had already been inactive for close to a year. So like it was basically just okay, cool. We have like the name value slash like recognition and like the account. But like rebuilding everything up, and then we spent about like two of that 4 months doing like sponsor deck create like pitch deck creation and like sponsor outreach. We sent so many emails. We had like a bunch of meetings that like seemed very like encouraging and then kind of just dried up last second. And Gian and I had talked about it. He was like, I'd be low key, I'd be down to like self fund an event, and I was like, it'd be expensive, man. Like I was like, I don't want you to do that. And then randomly one day, Zay just snapped and was tired of waiting for a yes or to get funding it, and I think I could probably find it in our DMs. We're doing it. I'm gonna fund the event.
While you find that DM, yeah, I'll pick up from there because it was just like our sponsor talks like just weren't that like didn't like really come to fruition largely because like we're just inactive for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just hard to prove our the value of an event and like KPIs and stuff like that. And so it kind of dried up. We didn't run the pro am like for the SSCL pro am, and we had already by that point we'd already known that we wanted to rebrand to the Crucible. That was like something that John came up with, and like we were all just like, yeah, like if we're gonna like commit to being like a TO that like is gonna last here, we need to rename because SFCL is kind of a nothing brand.
Mm-hmm.
All it has is like its name and its reputation, but like you can't call it Solar Flare Competitive League anymore because that goes against UB's TOS for tournament organizers. And like so like apart from just the brand recognition that SFCL has, what else does that brand bring to the table? The answer, not that much. Um, like I talked about, I wanted to be able to just break out of that like SFCL slop mold
Yeah.
and just build something different and fresh. So we kind of knew what we wanted to do, and we we also just like because since we were just in like a crank mood of just like let's just like reach out to as much people as possible and see what we can do. We reached out to this marketing agency slash like design agency by the name of Paper Crowns, and we are like, hey, like we have this vision. This is what we want to do. These are some ideas for like the rebrand. They're like, hey, like this sounds like super cool. Like give us like a week. We'll go back you with like a quote. And we knew it was going to be very expensive, and we knew it was going to be out of budget for like the time, like for everything that we did. But we were just curious. Let's see what happened. That quote was like in the six figures, so we are just like, okay, like okay.
It wasn't like it was like low six figures, but still it was.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just like a brand refresh. That would have been like
It was a lot of things. It was a
yeah,
lot of things.
it
But
was a
again,
lot
we
of
were
stuff that we were
curious.
curious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like we knew that it was not something that we were going to commit to at the moment. We just kind of wanted to like kind of feel it out and be like, no, like hey, more or less like what's that kind of capital we're going to need if we want to like really pull this off of what we had in mind. We got our answer, and I know for Paper Crowns, it's worth every penny because their work is just ridiculously good. It's just not something that we had at the moment, right?
Mhm.
So we had that quote in mind, and we were just like, well, maybe we can just wait out the rebrand, until and like maybe like we just get lucky and we get secure some funding like later down in the road. But then like come September of last year or October, and like I was just bored because like it was mid college semester, and I was just like, I want to feel something. And a big like thing that like stopped me, like a big like stopping point for me for running an event, was I wanted to make sure that I had a prod budget because I want to pay my staff. Um, and that was like a big reason that we just didn't run at all, like during the summer or anything like that. But it got to the point where it was just like either I can like self fund an event, um, I can like self fund. I can self fund an event. Royal just TM me something that was really funny.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was like, well, I can self fund an event, and like just kind of just ask people like, hey, like I'm investing heavily into this project because I believe in it, and if you guys want to be a part of it, that'd be cool too. And I'm gonna give it all my like I'm gonna give it 100, and if you guys want to put 100 as well, that'd be great. But I don't expect you to. Like, you just want to come along for the ride, that'd be great. That was the mindset that I went into it because the alternative was just like, just don't run.
Mhm.
And I was starting to realize that just like I'm just not going to be able to secure like a partnership just out of just recency because we just hadn't run in forever. So I was like, well, this is just an investment that I need to make if I want to see this like come to fruition for the future. I was like, all right, sure, whatever. I ran the numbers, like, and I knew I'd be in a hole. Not the hole that I thought I'd end up being, but like that's different. But like that's kind of like how we went into it. And that's the mentality that I kept over the whole season. And I think like I'm super grateful for everybody that came onto the project and like gave their time, because again, it's just like I don't expect you to do anything, and yet you gave me your time. And I will forever appreciate that. So like again, I was super grateful for what like all my volunteers did for me. And like from my standpoint, I was just in the mindset of like, well, how can I enable all my staff to do better? So like I would like help like the desk to prep. I would help my host be like, hey, let's generate storylines, like stuff like that, because like I don't expect you guys to like just take like just time out of your day more than you're already gonna commit to by doing a cast or like being on stream or whatever. So that's kind of mentality. The prize pool initially was gonna be 5K, but then I
And then
remember we were playing Counter Strike.
It's it. And you just went, I'm making it 7.5.
5. Yeah, I remember it was just one round because I was mulling over. I was just like, well, 5K is like the same as like this XGS season and like all these SFCL seasons, and I want to be better. So I was like, fuck it, 7.5. So I pushed it to 7.5. It was like a mid like Counter Strike round. We're playing like one of those goofy maps in an MM. It was really funny. That was like sometime in December, like November before we announced. And then yeah, like that was kind of it. We set the prize pool. I didn't have to worry about like a lot of production, like paying production staff. One thing I did have to worry about was pre-production, and that was what ended up being the most expensive part because the Crucible division we had for it involved a lot of 3D, as you saw, like in all of our graphics. So everything that you saw like on socials or on stream, that was all made in Unreal Engine. It's something that I've been wanting to experiment with a lot. Because I think UE as a tool for like computer graphics, broadcast graphics is very powerful, and it's just really untapped at the moment, other than like how they use it for like RLCS. But even then, it's not really bringing it to its full potential, in my opinion. And I barely scratched the surface of what we can do in Unreal for like this Crucible season. And that's something that I want to continue exploring. But the one like pillar that I wanted to have was doing stuff in Unreal. And our first like introduction to like doing stuff in Unreal was the women's grand final that we did. Because like Harmony just blew up We're like, well, let's just run the final anyways. And that was a fun project. It was a 1 week turnaround. We got like a whole Unreal world made. We like made a bunch of stuff. It was a fun broadcast. A lot of eyes on it, and I think we can all say like we're pretty proud of like what we got done in like a week. That was pretty cool.
That entire like from like I guess like we were playing. I think we were playing Counter Strike. We had just finished doing some pitch deck stuff. We were playing some CS. Like I walked away from my PC to go make dinner, and saw the
The
tweet on my TL of Harmony shutting down, and I instantly came back and was like, Zay, Zay, Zay. He was like, "Are you
the
thinking what I'm thinking?"
I'm thinking,
Yes.
yep.
Okay, I'll DM
Mhm.
Dispa.
Yep, yep. It was because I think Royal was playing Counter Strike. I was on my flight back to Rochester
You're at the airport.
from
Yep.
Thanksgiving break. I was in the Philly airport, and I saw the tweet drop, and I instantly pop in my AirPods, join VC. I'm like, and then Royal's like, Zay, 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 and I'm like, you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, oh, yeah. So we like cranked that one out, and that was a fun project to do. I think we're pretty proud of it. That was our first foray into like kind of what pre-production would be. And we'd already scouted Odin, who was our primary, like he's our 3D generalist. He made all of our Unreal worlds. He made like our socials package. He's a very talented graphic designer, and he's worth every penny. And that's when we really like were able to get in deep with him on like all the stuff we wanted to do, and then that was an introduction for what the Crucible was going to be. And I won't say exactly how much I spent on pre-production for the Crucible, but I can tell you I spent easily $1,000 on the grand final for the women's league, just from pre-production alone, because like making a world in Unreal Engine it's not an easy feat,
Yeah.
especially
Especially on
having it
the
expedited.
turn, the turnaround time we get. I felt so like when we sent that message to him, we were like, "Hey, Odin, we know the turnaround times we give you are already pretty tight. This one is we would need it done in like 4 days."
Yeah, it was a crank. But yeah, no, like again, it was for me. It was all about the vision and just a passion project, and just
Mhm.
my vision was make it like a portfolio piece for everybody involved. So I like to think that me and John, we really pushed Odin on what he could do. Like he keeps DMing us like hey guys, I miss working the Crucible. That's because we pushed him like pretty hard on like what like his skills, and I think it shows. I think it shows that like he did a really good job. The trophy was also something that like unnecessary, but we were just like let's have a trophy
That was a last minute idea. I was like, "Yo, Zay, okay." I was like, "I don't know how much more this would cost us, but I have a cool idea."
Yeah, and I think the trophy ended up being one of like the most staple pieces about the whole project. It's just a
Shout out
great
Jack.
addition. Shout out. I was about to say NC Jack, and I'm like, wait, hold on, that's
Nope.
a developer for you.
Jackhammer
So,
Art
no,
3D. My goat.
Jackhammer Art 3D. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like it's just like it was just all these little pieces and all these ideas, and I was like, let's just do it. Like whatever. Like screw it. Like if this is really an investment for me, and I want to make this like a portfolio piece, then sometime it'll pay itself off. I don't know when, but eventually. That was my mindset. And I think it paid off. I think the product wasn't perfect, and the biggest issue with the product was just time. Like it was like very tight deadlines, and it really like took it out on all of us, like Odin, me, Royal, Jack. Like it was a lot, but I think for it being like a pilot into what we can do, I think it was exceptional. I think it was a really good project. I think it looks really cool, and I think the Behance page looks awesome. So
Hell yeah. So I feel like that's kind of a common theme of a lot of like the tier 3 productions. Just time is always the biggest enemy
Yeah.
of
yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
it's awful.
No matter what you're doing, it's just like even if it's a simple package for like Xenon or
I mean,
something.
yeah, it is.
to-
It also doesn't help that like we kind of procrastinate a little bit when we shouldn't, especially for T3, because like since you aren't getting paid, you kind of lose that like
Mm-hmm.
urge
That was
to
such
just
motivation.
go. But like sometimes you need to just lock in and work,
Mhm.
because like otherwise you're just never getting anything done at that point.
Yeah.
And that's something that like that's a bad habit I fell into for like SFCL like way back when. It's just like I had no drive to make a production package, so I just make them like 2 nights before or something like that. Like I would just crank it all out.
Zay thought he knew Crank until we started working together. Because like it would between the two of us, I would say probably easily like 300 plus hours
Yeah,
to get the
on just like
Crucible.
outreach. Oh, yeah, on just the Crucible alone. Yeah.
Like easily 300 400 hours just between the two of us, not including everyone else who's involved. Like
Yeah.
I think we had 48 people who volunteered for the
Yeah.
event and like helped us like make it possible. So
It was a lot. And that was just not like if you include like the man hours in the words channel, Royal sent like the first drafts for like the trophy. Um, yeah, I remember seeing those in the beginning and being like, how do we make this as not phallic as possible?
We literally in the group chat with Odin, we were like, "Hey man, these are great. Like it's definitely like the right direction." But I was like, the current iteration looks just way too much like a dildo. Way too much like a dildo. I like. And before we gave him that feedback, like I sent it to like a few of my friends. I was like, "Hey guys, does this look like a dildo?" Because like I was like, I can't like, am I cooked or like, is it like, do we need to rework it? Um, but like
Yeah.
we were super happy with how like the final product for the trophy came out, and like it looks so sick.
It does.
Yeah. We for the pre-prod, like when we approach Odin saying like, hey, we want you to do this project, like let's get to work. And that was at the point where we put in like maybe like 150 200 hours just on like planning like everything, because when we gave him the Notion document for like all the like the brief and like all the deliverables and like all the direction, like we scoured the internet for like any little piece of like inspiration. Like we looked at like every major esports project for like the past like 3 years. We scoured Pinterest for like the most like niche sort of like ideas, like because we knew that we had this vision, and we wanted to be able to communicate it like as effectively as possible. So we ended up giving like a huge Notion document, because like we knew what we wanted, and to his credit, Odin did a really good job of like delivering it. He needed a little bit of direction to start, but like once he got the hang of it, it was really good.
Yeah, like I'm about to put some more images into the words channel. This is all like, but like pre-prod stuff. There's some more trophy render examples, and then like
Yeah.
the
Okay. Yeah. Well,
original rough draft for the
John is a Photoshop terrorist. Yeah. Yeah.
but like we had like a very clear vision and like direction we wanted to take it, but like without Odin and Jack, there's just no way that we would have been able to. Um, like we're super happy with how it ended up turning out. Like I think it's pretty easy to say that there's not like not even just in Siege, but like in esports overall, I don't think there's anything that like looks quite like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Which
it's
is like
something else that we're really proud of is just that it just looks unique and it looks like just way like really different. Because like like Element's got like this like grunge thing going with like like super like deep colors and the noise, and then like XGS is doing whatever XGS is doing with like the
Like the
xenon and like the purple, and then TPL just has like their like topography sort of feel, and like no disrespect to any of them, but like it just feels like very like typical esports broadcasting. And we kind of wanted to just really try to like be like, let's make something that just looks different, and I think we accomplished that for sure.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this might have been for the like the women's final that you like you said had to get a turnaround in a week, but didn't you have
Yeah.
to build something in Minecraft to kind of get the general idea
Um,
across?
that was for
Or was
that was for the secondary world render that we had done for
for
the
the Crucible,
Crucible.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Because
couldn't
we had
remember which one it was
the
for.
main central like Coliseum piece, and then we had like a mine shaft like forge area. Um, and that was for that because we wanted we had this like idea for like a longer hallway for that like kind of like, connected into the main like Coliseum. Um, but we didn't know, like, we couldn't find anything that like visually represented what
show
we
it,
wanted
yeah.
to. So we, so Zay opened up Minecraft and built it in
And I
Minecraft.
made it. Yeah.
I'm trying to
Um,
find the image for it, but
That's hilarious.
yeah, it's somewhere. The inspiration for the women's final, um, because me and Royal and I had like been in talks previously at like, hey, like what we could potentially do for like a women's scene. So we like had some ideas there, but the first thing that came to mind for me, like for that grand final, was I don't know if you've ever seen the series. It's called Money Heist. Um,
I've heard of it.
just
Yeah.
it's yeah.
so good.
That intro fucks.
So
Um,
good, dude. I love that intro.
their intro VT is really good, and if you ever like if you ever go back and like watch it, it's like they reconstructed like this bank with like paper and like origami, and like it looks really sick. I was like, I really like this like idea of just like it being like super clean, and like kind of elegant. So I was like, let's just run with that. And as like one big final fuck you to Harmony, I was like, get the Harmony logo like a statue, but then it's just broken. And that's what we did, and it was great. So, it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Still can't believe you guys pulled that off in a week. I mean, that
Yeah.
was kind of insane.
Yeah, it was all
It was
fun.
That
crazy.
was a very long week, and like we were super in the shits that entire week, like figuring everything out. But
All for
like
it to be a 21, like what 3?
21-3.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like me and Zay have talked about it, like with especially in esports, like the more in the thick of it, in the absolute trenches you are, like afterwards you're like, man, that shit was so much fun.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the entire winter series, every single day we were going to bed at like 2 a.m. and then going to class the next day, getting home from school and instantly starting prep for
Yep.
the play days. But like we were in the shits, like dying. And then like looking back on it, like it was so much fun. Like I'm so proud of like the final like product. Oh my, I'm getting close to the Minecraft screenshot. Oh my gosh, here it
That's
It's
great.
is.
really there.
I
So,
found it.
this is kind of vaguely related, and it's not on the document that we had for prep, but it is something that I think is interesting to talk about, and it's one of the issues that happened with the Blitz Queen stuff was that they didn't have enough teams sign up, and they didn't super take it seriously, which I've had a couple conversations with people about like why we think that is, but my theory is that if you took Project Harmony 100% seriously, you lost your fucking mind. Um, and like that's just all there was for like a women's scene for a while. Because I'm not here to dig up old drama, right? But like having been a team captain, interacting with that system, it fucking sucked. Like they had stricter roster lock rules than T2 does. Like they wouldn't let us get an E-sub, or they almost didn't let us get an E-sub for a game where our player was like actively throwing up at her keyboard. Like it
Yeah.
just sucked. But that was the women's scene for a while, and so that's kind of the headspace that people have been operating in. Because like the last like one that like wasn't really like crazy Lamicki was like CCSW, which if you remember watching those, you probably have arthritis by this point. Like it's been a fucking while, and so like,
It's
um,
Eris was okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was there was some drama with Eris. I
Mhm.
don't remember what it was. I'm gonna be honest.
it was they had a rule that like you couldn't have two pro players on the same team, which
Yeah,
was
that's what it
just
was.
targeting Marmalade and Goddess.
Yeah, no, literally.
Um,
Great. Uh-huh.
but
Mm-hmm.
I think like the what I want to see is like an actual like thing that's worth investing in pop up, because I think that's when like there could be an actual scene that's developed, because a lot of people just weren't in Harmony because there was bad blood between them and Harmony. I mean, I almost wasn't in Harmony. They tried to bar me from fucking playing. Like
Yeah.
like there it just wasn't something that you could like actually like actively engage with on a serious level, because you lose your fucking mind. But then like because that's been the headspace of like the women's ecosystem, like Blitz tries to come on and do it better, but there just isn't much there right now for more than like the kickoff tournament. So you know, after you did like the, I think you call it like the Phoenix Grand Finals, I'm interested to see kind of what your take on that is.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
yeah, you go.
Okay.
I've talked a lot.
I mean, I was just gonna say that, like, not very much, but like, I think a big thing is for like the women's scene to actually be able to like develop and for players to like want to compete, there has to be some sort of like long term support from like either a TO or from Ubisoft or Blast or NSG or whoever it is. Um, but because like I mean, if you just look at like VCT Game Changers, Floor is absolutely shitting on people in the
Yep.
EMEA VCT right now, and like that Shopify Rebel, the Shopify, I think it's Shopify Gold now, like is like they're a solid tier 2 team that was built purely through the Game Changer circuit, which is like, and like if you look at Counter Strike with Imperial Fem, like that roster was like going like gunfight for gunfight versus Navi when they were ranked the number 1 team in the world, and that just comes from like consistent long term like because like it's essentially starting a scene from scratch. Like
Yep.
it would be like if they try to bring back console pro league, they couldn't just like
Yep.
do a one-off event every couple of months. Like there has to
Yep.
be consistent long-term support for it, or like the scene can't establish, it can't improve. So like it'll take a combination of like one TO who is competent enough and stable enough to start the foundations of that scene, and then further support from an outside TO or outside funding to help scale it. Which I totally think is something that's possible, because I mean, if you look at Brazil, Brazil has a strong women's scene in Siege. I believe they played their land. They had like a land finals for their women's circuit.
Hmm.
At the Brazil studio, and like the Brazil has had women's support, so like it is a bit like disheartening to see that like EU, APAC, and like NA don't
Yep.
really have that kind of support. But we definitely hope that it can
Yeah.
turn around this year.
I hope so too. Non-biased, of course.
It's
Nothing,
like
of course.
kind of like adding on to that. It's also just like there needs to be like more like self-importance placed by the TOs, because like you set as a TO, you set a precedent of like what you expect from players just by the way that you just present yourself. So like from the outside looking in, Harmony seemed very just biased and just like it was run. It was run.
Yeah.
But it's like establishing um a professional relationship with these players commands respect out of them, which is one, it's better for developing the scene. Two, doing that allows TOs to just be like, hey, it's not a waste of money to like actually invest money in this stuff, sort of stuff. So then larger prize pools are like involved, and then that means there's just more importance, which feedback loop. You slowly start building up a scene, which is like, but again, like John said, you need to start a scene from scratch.
Yep.
Because there really isn't one.
Mm-hmm.
And these smaller tournaments help, but they suffered a similar thing where it's just like, well, Blitz isn't regarded as like no disrespect to Blitz, but it's not regarded like this huge TO, right? And the prize pool isn't like that big for like their women's event, so the conversion, like the conversion that they're able to get of like establishing a scene for women isn't as great as like if say Ubisoft or like some other big TO was like, I'm gonna run something.
And I think as well, like they did just kind of throw in the towel pretty early on with that. Like after the kickoff tournament just didn't go the way they wanted. Like there wasn't really like an attempt to kind of go back to the drawing board. Like, all right, this didn't go poorly. Like this went poorly. Like the conclusion they drew was just, well, people don't take it seriously. So, which again.
Yeah.
Not here to start shit, but like that is just kind of like you said. Like there needs to be like a sustained their effort put in from a TO, preferably multiple TOs, to actually build something. Because the only thing we had doing that was Project Harmony, and their producer didn't run timers on the streams because he thought they were unprofessional.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And they ran a qualifier for the last season because they had 10 teams and they wanted 8 teams.
Yeah, that was pretty funny as well.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
yeah.
that was pretty funny.
It was designed for 8 teams, but they had 10 teams sign up, so they ran a whole like Swiss stage, like to eliminate two fucking teams.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah, I remember because I was like, "Hey, Cass, are you in Project Harmony?" It's like, "Well, I have to play qualifiers first." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, aren't there like 8 teams?" I'm like, "Well, there's 9 teams." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Also, like a team that like half the
Oh.
admins played for had like won like the previous 2 seasons, which was just like there just wasn't a lot going
Oh,
on
admin
there.
abuse.
Yeah.
Was that their team name?
Yes.
That's a banger. I won't lie. That's a good. That's a good team name.
It is really funny.
At least
But
they
no, like,
embraced
but,
the meme, I guess.
but like John was saying, like I definitely think that like the biggest hindrance for like the women's circuit right now is definitely more on like the TO side because like we were saying, it takes like and like how John was saying, like, they have to take like the TO with themselves has to take it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and like actually be dedicated to building out and fleshing out the scene.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like it's not easy to build a scene from scratch. I
No.
mean, like it's taken almost a decade to get to like our scene for T3 and T3
Mhm.
or T3 and T2 to get to where it is now.
Yeah.
So like it just I really do hope and like that going into Siege X in the next couple of years that we can start to see like an
Mhm.
actual like space for women and marginalized genders players to compete. Because it definitely feels like something that's been like
Mhm.
sorely missing, especially when you
Yeah.
compare it to other esports right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like there are, I mean, just people I know that like didn't end up in like the Blitz Queens kickoff tournament that like were really passionate about it and wanted to, but there just wasn't anything like to go for. Like I think there is like an untapped potential, at least here in North America, for like a tournament like that to be successful and have like real teams. But it's gonna take more than like a Blitz Queens tournament that's just like kind of half-assed thrown together after the Phoenix Grand Finals go well.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure like that was a thing like until like it basically happened. Even just like being friends with everyone involved because like they weren't even sure if they were doing it like until the 11th hour. Like there needs to be like a real conceded effort from some or no concerted effort from someone to like actually run something long term.
Yeah. It's like, and like again, it's like English words. Um, it's an effort that needs to be taken from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So like not just TOs, but like getting orgs involved too is
Yep.
huge because like having a salaried women's roster is something that's unheard of for the majority of teams.
Shout out Queens, Wildcard Queens,
Shout out
not Blitz
Wildcard
Queens.
But it's like imagine a world where like like teams are salaried. Oh well,
Mhm.
now there's a lot more game day expectations. Oh, now
Yep.
you're expected to scrim. Oh, now we're an actual team with actual
Mhm.
support. Oh,
Mhm.
we're developing stuff now. You
Yep.
know, like now we got the ball rolling. Oh, and
Mhm.
there's this like big TO with like good prize pot just for this. Now there's something to play for.
Yep.
So yeah, like it's again, we'll see we'll see what happens. Maybe something pops up, but it's a big like just gap in the
Yeah.
NA space right now. It's just supporting the women's initiatives and marginalized genders.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to ask was just kind of obviously there are things that are in the works that can't be revealed yet, but what is kind of the future looking like for either Crucible or like you two individually, like what's kind of going on going forwards?
You want to go first, Jan?
Sure. I don't know. Kind of playing it by ear. I'll start with the Crucible. We after we put out the looking for sponsors post, we've been in talk with some brands, just seeing what we can do. We want to run again. That's for sure. We want to run another event. We're still not sure what the scale of that's going to be. If it's going to be the same as last time or something different. I can say that we want to run relatively soon. I can say that we ideally would like to run before the next stage of NAL. that's all I can really say because I don't have any confirmed yet. But that's kind of the idea going in, and another that like at least me and John have that we want to experiment with is just interacting with the console community more, because like there's obviously a big gap there as well, and we want to see what happens if if PC and console has to play more. So that'll be interesting. As for me, um, um, probably NEL again, and just college. I don't know, just chilling, doing stuff. So that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, like Jen said, like we want to run again as soon as possible, but like we were talking about earlier, a big thing for us is we want to be able to pay our like the people who are working with us
Yeah.
and helping support the project because I mean like we've said it multiple times tonight, but like without the people who volunteer their time and who just showed up to help support our passion project and run this event, like it just wouldn't have been possible. So like we were that's why we took so long trying to get the pro am funded originally was um because of how much we wanted to commit to being able to pay talent. Like it's even back when I was doing RSA, like granted we were paying like $20 like a map or something or like a BO3. Like
Mhm.
it was always something that's like been really important to me is that like the people like talent like is filled with a bunch of like amazing people, like a bunch of talented people who for the most part are here out of pure passion and like their enjoyment for the game and like the scene. But like making sure that we can compensate people for their work is really important to us. So we're hopeful that we can do another event before NAL, but like John was saying, it really comes down to if we're able to secure the funding to allow us to. Because I'm not trying to put
Yeah.
Gian in more debt.
Yeah, no, like we can safely say like we want to play production, like for sure. Otherwise, like I'm just not gonna run. And also ideally, I don't want to end up another like 5-digit hole again. So like that's like two big proponents. Um,
Yeah.
is it's really it just comes down to like money, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But then like for me right now, it's we're just now getting back into the swing of things, doing prep for Crucible and for future
yeah,
events that we want to do. Because we spent about 8 months prepping for the Winter Series and like everything that led up to it. So we were both very burnt out, and Boston was a really great break, and like being able to see everyone and like a lot of the people who worked on Crucible being there was great. So now that we've had some time to
and
like
those who
really
made
do
it to
that,
the Crucible staff dinner.
not
Which
you.
you didn't.
Not me. Not me.
Stuck in a
Didn't make it to my own
snowstorm.
dinner. Yeah.
But
That
like,
Decided. Drive to fucking New York day of
dude,
and didn't make it back.
that was
Creeper.
fucking hilarious. Like we're all like, yeah, we're looking forward to the staff dinner. It just sends a text of like his GPS. He's like, I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was supposed to be my ride to the staff dinner. He texted me
Oh my
10 minutes
god.
before he was supposed to pick me up. Hey, I'm not going to be able to pick you up with the picture of his GPS. And I'm just like,
No, no.
okay.
I texted you saying, get an Uber.
Yeah,
Screenshot.
yeah, that's what it was. Get an Uber with the screenshot. That's all I got. I was just like, oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This motherfucker. Uh,
But going back to what I was saying, like for me, like right now, like our main focus and my main focus is trying to secure funding so we can run
Mhm.
again. But like outside of that, just grinding through college, trying to get my degree,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
I hopefully will be starting with a new org later, or I guess early next month. So hopefully that'll be taking up some of my time. So between between Crucible, school, day job, and the new org, it might get a little wicked for me this year. But I mean, we're definitely at least I'm definitely like super excited and hopeful for what 2025 has to bring for not only Crucible, but not only for myself, but for me and John with Crucible.
the hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes because, like, just the self-funded thing where there's obviously like some level of effort to conserve, on the budget you're spending. Like, it was
Yeah.
still.
There was
I
a
know it
couple
was.
times where I was just like, a couple times I had to put my foot down. I'm like, yeah, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, yeah, there's a
Um,
couple ideas that we had. Hopefully, we get fun and we can actually.
Yeah, like just with the skill it operated at and the quality with it being self-funded, like seeing it go to another level with like sponsorships introduced would be fun. So I know it was my favorite event I've casted personally. Although also one of the most limericky, but that happens. I had fucking
HP.
Mason dancing on my screen during qualifiers because Matt thought it was funny.
See, that's what happens. Like, I couldn't work for like 2 days of the qualifiers, and then like I would just check Discord like after getting back home like 1 in the morning, and it's just like 100 DMs. Like live chat is like in flames. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
I remember I looked over at the TPL stream because I had been watching the main stream and like dealing with like some protests and stuff, and literally was just like in shell shock. I was just like, oh, that's the B stream right now. Okay, got it.
Great, wonderful, love it.
What are
You
the
gotta
rare moments
have-
where the trolling, where I was not involved with the trolling?
Yeah, Gian wasn't even in his home. Like
Yeah.
very rare, no Zaesho involved with trolliosis.
Like,
It's a rare moment where a Zaesho production it doesn't even involve Zaesho with trolling. It's a rare
yeah,
moment.
like it was crazy. Like the cross section, like the Venn diagram of trolling and like the Zaesho is like pretty big. But
It's
we
basically a
found-
circle.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah,
I mean, do you disagree?
no.
Exactly.
go. There you
No.
go. Biggest trollers in production, and yet also some of the hardest workers I've seen out there. Like, holy shit.
Real sick.
You gotta let loose sometimes.
Real.
It can't always be. I mean, like it can't always be serious. You gotta
Yeah.
get silly, and have fun at the same time. Because like, especially with it being a passion project, like, and like Zay was talking about, like there was a bunch of stuff that we wanted to do that just like
Mhm.
wasn't possible. Like there was a period of time where we were looking into like, just as an example, we wanted to get the trophy physically made,
Yeah.
not to scale, but like some like basically miniatures of the trophy made and like send that out to the winning teams. But like that alone would have been like roughly like an extra like 2.5 to 5
Yeah.
grand, like in that
Yeah,
ballpark, just to
like,
get the stuff like
was-
to get it made, painted, and then shipped out to players. So like there's a lot of stuff that we want to be able to do in future events, and that we have like that we think are going to be really sick, and like stuff that hasn't really been seen in the seed scene. So like just very very hopeful and excited at the possibilities that we have this year.
Now, the question in everyone's minds, will the SFCL Pride Jam return? Not the Crucible Pride Jam. I think it'd be hilarious if it was just the SFCL Pride Jam going
Yeah,
forwards.
you want to like rebrand for one weekend back to SFCL.
Exactly.
Pride Jam.
Gian, can we bring back the OG version 1 solar flare logo?
SFCL logo. Okay, but like the OG one.
Yeah, like the one on the
yeah.
deck, the one on the deck.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Not Aztec cock ring, the one before that.
No,
There was
I'll-
another.
I'm getting it. Hold
Yeah,
on.
no,
There
I'm
was
saying the
another.
one before that.
No, like there was the logo that we're talking about. Then there's
Ah.
like the sword and the stone one,
Mm-hmm.
which was the one that we ran with for a while, and then there was the Aztec cock ring.
I
That's right.
I think this is the episode that takes the cake for the most references to penises out of every episode in
It had
Match
to
Point.
happen.
Like,
It had to happen eventually.
I wonder why it happened here.
Yo, that's crazy.
I don't know the. Oh my god, he sent the Minecraft screenshot. That's amazing. Dude,
it was just like that was the best way that we could think to like showcase it.
oh, it works.
Gian's Minecraft ref, not to scale.
I think it would be hilarious to do like a production package in like Minecraft.
Here we go. This is the
God.
See,
me and
don't
Gian
tempt
talked
me.
about it. We talked about it. We talked about like
Okay,
what it
you
would
just
be.
said like a 2 pixel like export.
Dude, okay, I'll send the whole page of the deck. My bad.
Bro,
Sorry,
it's
sorry.
in the Notion. No, sorry, it's in the Figma
That
for the
Is it the
capabilities.
Figma?
dude,
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
a Pride
Um,
Jam with that logo would be hilarious.
But yeah, me and Gian talked about it. We were like, what would it like? What would the cost associated be with like getting some siege maps remade in Minecraft, so we could then go in and get like B-roll footage and shit for like
would be so
for on
funny.
stream. Like
It
it'd
would
be
have been
such a
so
it would have
funny.
been it'd be such a good bit. Like it'd be
It would have been a
great.
great bit. It would have been a great bit. We thought about that. It was like, because like there's some maps that were like got remade in Counter Strike. Like I know houses, like canal, like old canal.
Mhm.
So like, but like not all the maps. So it's just like it would have been fun.
It would be a good April Fool's bit if you guys run an event then.
See, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what we were thinking. But yeah, like,
Or
like stuff
alternatively,
like that. Yeah, like honestly, Pride Jam. I see no reason why we shouldn't run Pride Jam again. That was fun. Hopefully
was a
this
ton of
time,
fun.
like, hopefully this time, like, we don't get a
Now
bunch
you
of
can see it.
bums that like turn everything down last minute, and like we can actually like do something that's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But
I think my favorite part of the last one was
it
just
was
like
solar flare.
we had the couch cast going, and we had just people from the community, and we brought my friend Shifty in, and we brought him and just like, all right,
Yeah,
you're bringing us and we're going live, and then you just counted him in, and then we just didn't fucking know what to do.
yeah. It was like Shifty, you, like Cass.
V was
I think like
there.
Rin was there. I
Rain
think, at
47
one
was
point.
there. That's where
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
happy "Let me speak to the people" clip came from.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, Happy. Like, my mental was chalked after Happy just destroyed my ears. Like,
Dude,
I was
someone
like, okay, I want to go home.
someone paid money to have him
Yes.
bring the fucking funny
Yes.
black back.
Yes. Yes.
someone-
$200 were raised to
I-
get Happy
I-
to scream into a microphone.
Was it 200? I thought it was 50, but either way,
Well, it
somebody
was
paid
50,
a good
so-
amount.
It was 50, but all donations got quadrupled, like matched.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
they
so
were
it was
matching all
200
donations.
raised. Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot
But
about
like,
that.
I definitely think that Pride Jam, and not even specifically like Pride Jam, but like some more like charity weekend events is
Mhm.
definitely something that like we want to be able to do more of. And we're like, because Pride Jam was pretty last minute for like
Yeah.
from like our initial like me mentioning to Zay, hey, do you want to do this? To us being like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Let's get to work.
Yeah. It was
Um,
like, it was even shorter than the women's thing. It was like maybe
Yeah.
like 3 days or something.
But like, so like giving ourselves a bit more time to like flesh out some like donation goals and like incentives and stuff, and trying to work with some like NAL orgs or brands for like
Yeah.
product giveaways and stuff like that, like to have it be a bit more fleshed out than what was, because like the way we ran it was just a go for basically.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
So like
Yeah.
being able to like flesh it out a bit more and like have a little bit more time to like get eyes on it and bring the community to like be ready to like help support it, because like we were still super happy with how it turned out. I the Pride Jam announcement graphic being like the Space Jam poster was
It was
that
that was
that was a
funny.
banger.
That
That was
fun.
a banger.
I put, if you guys read like the subtext
Oh gosh.
on the poster, it says like the last thing of it. I didn't know what to put, so I was like, "I'm a bottom, meow 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 meow." That's a real thing. You can go back and
Mhm.
look for.
And weren't there was like some T1 org I think that was like retweeting it or something for like because they had like a
Well,
thing in the giveaway.
Yeah, so like Beast Coast like helped
Nice.
us out. Like, hooked
It was
us up.
nice as well.
Knights as well. Beast Coast hooked us up with the Crest
The
plush.
plushie. Yeah, the little
Yeah.
plushie thing.
Oh, I love Crest. Unfortunately, Beast Coast, RIP, now defunct.
Yep.
But
We should have said we won the giveaways, eh?
no, genuinely, I love that plush. In my setup back in Puerto Rico, I have like the Crest mouse pad, and I have Crest like a plush. And it's great. I love Crest. But
I have the Crest Trans Pride Flit pin they did on my
let's go.
backpack
Shout
that
out.
I bring
I
to
think
lands.
it's the Hex 30. I think that's their name. Shout out the Hex 30 if that's your name. Goated artist made Crest.
Hell yeah.
Or is
Hell
it
yeah.
Base Hex or like? See, I shouldn't think of this right now. That's fine. But yeah.
So, fun facts. The original plan was to do this in Boston, but it didn't happen. And Zay was saying to just get a drink while doing it, which was a dangerous proposition because there were like 9 bottles of whiskey just in my Airbnb. Because I was with whiskey rum and whiskey glitter.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
there would have been. There was also tequila, I think, that they brought, and then like Fiend had brought like mead. So there was just.
Oh God.
There
Yeah,
would have
Fiend
been
brought
no
mead.
shortage.
It was a lot in that B&B.
There
So
was.
it's just like, yeah, whatever. We'll just scrap it. We'll do it some other time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's
Now we're here.
low-key my
It,
fault.
it
but
was kind of.
whoops.
It was kind of. It was a little. Like just like. It was a little ambitious for us to do it during SI.
Yeah.
For sure.
If I'd
I
planned
mean,
it better,
we thought
it
would
would have
be
worked
very
out.
cool.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, no, it would have been sick if we
Yeah.
like lined
Yeah.
up for us to be able to do
yeah.
it
Mhm.
in Boston,
Just
but
never could.
yeah,
Next
just-
NA event, whatever that is.
2026 baby. Woo!
Woo!
That was fuck.
Oh, Cass
Yeah,
has been
I mean-
trying to bother. Cass and Fiend have been trying to bother me to go up to New York. Maybe just kidnap Zay for an afternoon.
That'd be fun because Fiend lives in Syracuse,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know where Cass lives, so 10-minute drive from me.
That would be terrifying.
God.
Or better thing, you come up right, and we jump Cass.
I just won't tell Cass I'm coming to
Ellie, I'll give you
fucking
$5 to stab
It's crazy.
him.
make it
Yeah.
7. You got a deal.
Done. 10.
Yo.
Sick.
Oh,
That's
wow.
$10.
Yeah.
Wow, you got to keep bumping up the offer.
Look, well, if he survives, then I could get more by stabbing him again.
Hell yeah.
Bro, I did specify where he needed to be stabbed.
Yeah.
If at the next NA land, I'll give you $200 if you can get like just a nice snip of Zay's hair, like 4 inches. I don't. You know, you throw it out after, as long as I have
4
confirmation that
inches.
it happened.
God damn.
Yeah,
I would-
or like give him a nice bald spot.
I would cry. I would-
$200.
I would go a
80
lot.
takers. 80
I would
takers.
go a
Open
lot more than
bounty.
cry.
Open
Well,
bounty.
we don't need a Mason 2.0. We don't need
That's
that.
real. Look, I got enough forehead here, so it's like it's fine. I don't need more of it. I'll turn to Mason Best. It's not good.
It's not great.
You'll have to
You
fight
be
for
an
the
admin?
name. You'll have to fight for the last name best. The one of it will be Mason Worst.
Mason Worst. No, it's a Jason Worst.
Jason Worst?
Yep.
That does sound like a pretty terrible name.
Yeah.
I like how this bit has
There
just
was
turned into
Ivan-
fuck you clips.
there was Ivan the Terrible. Now there's
I love you,
Jason the Worst.
Mason.
We love
Man.
you, Mason. I love
Oh,
working
fuck
with
that
you.
guy. I don't care. Fuck him.
But the first time I saw him at SI, I didn't say, "Oh, hey, Mason." I said, "Ah, bald." Like, this is the first thing I said to him.
Holy fucking shit. No,
He
because like,
deserves it.
okay, you want to know what's even better is I wore a Texas Rangers shirt off my flight, so because he was waiting for me at the airport so we could get picked up by Zay together, and so the first thing that he sees is just the Ranger shirt. He's like, "Oh motherfucker," because he's an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, and my team beat his in the World Series, so he's like, "Son of a bitch." You did this
There-
on purpose, didn't you? It's like
there-
only a little bit.
There was a day when like Yali and I were just playing like Helldivers. It was just the two of us in some random fucking server. And she got up and then came back like 10 minutes later and she's just singing, "And in my forehead I find a glimpse of us." And it was not even there. Not part of the discussion. And he got such a fucking stray.
That's great, man.
I love
That's
Mason.
insane.
He's great.
Great guy.
Just nah.
Zay
You
hates
haven't had to
him
work
after-
for him for 3 years.
or had to have him listen to his alarm just blare for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that guy trolled my sleep that Sunday. I blame him.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a man.
But
Good
yeah.
God.
Anyways,
We should have a call time in 15 minutes.
we've been running for 2 hours and 11 minutes, so
This
Dang.
beats the record of our last
yeah,
episode.
which
Let's go.
yeah,
No, you had a 2:30 one.
Did we? I can't.
I don't
How
think
long
it was
our last
2:30.
one?
Okay,
Hold on.
hear me
Hold on.
out. 30 minutes of black screen starting.
Oh wait, no, this is the longest. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, the
oops.
other one's 2 minutes 14. The other one's 2 minutes 14. We'd have to go
Yeah.
for
Why do I have 8 DMs from Stan? Okay, never mind. They're actual
Wow.
DMs, not spam. Okay.
I thought the stand one was 2 hours and a half, and I was like, fuck.
was it?
No, it's an hour 30.
You think we talk about dicks a lot on this podcast? You should have me, Zay, and Stan on.
Oh yeah.
I have seen I've
All
seen
dicks,
I've
all
seen
the
the
time.
DMs they've sent each other for Crucible. I can only imagine what it would be like if they were
Oh,
just
no.
given like unfettered access
Did
to
our
a
DMs
Discord
get
call.
leaked, John? Did our DMs get leaked?
So
Oh,
what
our
if,
DMs definitely.
what if you just like showed them to me one day when we were like doing something in the Crucible server? You're just like, hey, want to see what John and I send each other? Like,
There was definitely a brief
Oh, here,
snippet at
you
some
wanna see what-
point. It
no.
went crazy.
It was great. What do you mean?
I didn't say it was a bad
No,
thing. I just said it was
you
crazy.
want to see our DMs? You should see our LinkedIn DMs.
Oh,
I
speaking
have
of,
seen
hold
your
on,
LinkedIn
hold on,
DMs.
hold on.
Hold on.
No, I have
Your
a great way to
LinkedIn
summarize.
DMs?
Yes, yes.
Oh
Grab the
no.
screenshot. I'm not gonna click view message anyways, but the image in words just sums it up beautifully, I think.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Look. Look.
What do you say? How do you defend yourself, Zay? Go ahead, try.
Wasn't me. Like, I
Oh,
don't know what to
did
say.
it get hacked?
I got hacked. Like,
Oh,
I don't know what to
it
say.
happens. It happens. It happens. His account got pulled. Just gonna contact UB support. They're gonna sort it.
Contacted UB support for his LinkedIn account. Oh god.
What about for you guys? What's next for you, Ellie? What's next for you, Sirius?
Uh,
What's on the docket?
hopefully more casts.
Yeah, I don't know because nothing's been announced for a while as far as
Yeah.
for me. So
That is
Yay.
fair. Yeah. Are you guys excited for the Denver land?
The one that I'm not going to.
yeah, I'm probably not going.
I'm
to
not
that either,
working.
so.
I'm not gonna go to it, but like I think it's cool that we have it.
I think it's
yeah,
cool that
I
we
think it'll
have
be
it.
Fun.
I
It'll be
think it
great.
was brave to hold it that close to SI though.
Like that soon after.
Yeah, because it was like a month after, right?
Yeah, I think it's like the month after, and then like it's like I think like the weekend after the Siege X reveal event.
Yeah,
in
like
Atlanta.
which to be fair, that one I think they probably didn't know about, but like it is kind of just in a really awkward time to hold a LAN event.
Yeah.
Because Denver's not like expensive as Boston, to my understanding, but it's not like a cheap city either to like find housing in. And it's right after
Yeah.
SI, which was in Boston, and then there's not like there wasn't like a crazy turnaround between like when they announced it and when it actually took place. So
Is
I
that
think
in
it's
your
cool.
LinkedIn message?
I still guarantee it will be better than AGN Atlanta. For those of you who know,
Oh,
the bar is
those
on
who
the
know.
floor.
those who
those
know.
who know, terrifying.
I became a therapist
AGN
for
Atlanta
that
was great.
weekend, dude.
Guys, I'm gonna upload a new image into Words, and
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry.
For those of you
This
who
is-
don't know, AGN Atlanta had a like 7-3-7-4 game last 3 fucking hours. And half of the
'Cause-
time it was
Wait,
just
no,
them
you can't
stuck-
talk shit. You're gonna get sued. That's
I'm gonna
defamation.
get sued.
Cade.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna
I'm
get sued?
sorry. I'm gonna get sued. I'm sorry.
Gage is
That's
gonna come
defamation.
for you, dude.
The
I
screenshot on my phone is so much better.
Don't post that.
remember.
Let's go into Words. Let's go straight into Words.
Oh.
That's what I just received from like you see the timestamp
No,
right
post
now.
me.
He is
That
sitting there. He
sucks.
sat there straight faced and texted me that on LinkedIn. No
wasn't me.
remorse.
I'm not on LinkedIn. I deleted my LinkedIn account.
Okay, sure. We can go with that.
Dude, what the
We
fuck?
can go
Oh
with
my
that.
god.
That's my co-owner.
Oh.
Long story short, if anyone is still watching this and you want to know where all the fun people are, just start casting, start observing, just get into production.
Do anything Crucible related. There you
I
go.
think-
Just get
I
into the
think-
Crucible.
I think we're misconstruing fun with weird, but yeah,
Is it not a little bit of both?
true. It is true.
I don't know who has the worst brain rots, like the Siege comp, like T2 T3 comp players, or the Siege like prod staff. Like it's pretty close.
It's different. It's different. Like we like brain rot, right? But then like we work like the crew like wildcard restart, and then like Ashen's posting like Tonka truck gifs on the match chat, and like interrupting the map veto. So it's like it's a different type of brain rot, but like the levels there, you know, like mad respect.
We're just fruity in prod.
Fruity
Mhm.
prod.
Pretty proud.
No.
Okay, before we
Kind of
end,
fruit.
serious. I need to know what's your favorite Lego set. Which one's your favorite? You got a
Oh,
fuck ton in the
shit.
background, and they look
Yeah,
sick.
I've got a fuck ton. Somebody asked me how much it was. I don't know what the answer is. I'm gonna be honest.
One Crucible season.
Might not be that far off.
Guys,
Maybe.
we can fund it. We can fund the Crucible. We have the technology.
Don't you fucking dare! I swear to God, I will kill you. I mean, probably the Death Star. That's just like peeking out right here. You can see the bottom
Oh,
of it. But I mean,
yeah.
yeah. That was pretty fun. Even though I slightly fucked it up when I built it, I had to fix it for like 30 minutes. So you know.
Oh, fun.
Honestly, a 30-minute setback on a Lego build fuck up is not bad.
Not bad.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean
pretty
I was pretty impressed that it was only 30 minutes.
Yeah,
'cause I was
like-
expecting a
like-
lot longer.
Yeah, like I think I need to like go back and spend like an extra like 2 or 3 hours or something because you messed up like 2 pieces somewhere in
Well,
the middle of it.
What? It took 30 minutes to fix it. It took like an hour to realize I had made the initial fuck up because I had actually rotated part of it the wrong way, and it's like, oh no, I put this all in the wrong spot. Son of a bitch.
There was
But
a
it-
Crucible broadcast, if I recall, where the players were like trying to get us to get Sirius out of the way so they could try to calculate
Yep.
like the amount of money that was
I think
behind
it was
him.
like Siege, if I
I
remember.
think it
correctly.
was Jake Allen.
That does sound like something Exige would want, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that I ever actually got to talk to him about it afterwards, unfortunately. But
All right.
they-
If we do a spring series, first content piece we're recording is Exige and Sirius discussing Legos.
there you go.
True.
Already
That way,
generated content.
that way, whenever like a lobby crashes and we know it's gonna be like a 10-minute rehost process because of invite bug, we can just throw it on.
True. See, that would be tech. That's a good idea. We just like purposely make like long form content segments for rehosts.
Mm-hmm.
That's tech. That's a great idea.
Yeah, but
Put
think
that
of
on
all
a
the
mission.
Twitch ad revenue.
I don't think that should.
No, because like when we were in the Crucible, every time like we would go to like rehost or tech pause, John would join the VC and was like, ad break. And I'm like, dude.
Okay, I have no problem saying it. We only made I think total like $280 from ad rev for Crucible.
Which I
Um,
don't even know if like that's still linked to Tofu's account. To
I
be
think it
honest.
is because if you haven't changed it, I didn't change it.
Oh,
So
no.
I think we gave to Tofu $300.
No.
Whoops.
God damn it. Whoops.
Take him to court, Zay.
I'll let Israel deal with him, bro. I'm not getting bet on that shit. Like,
I don't
yeah.
know,
For
we
those who
should-
don't know, I'm gonna make this clear. Tofu is no longer involved with anything SFCL or Crucible related, and I will leave it at that.
See, I'm not sure if we should even include this part of it.
I'm leaving it at that.
This
He was
might be
bought
cut
out.
out.
I
There
made him
might
whole.
be a sudden cutout at the like 3-hour mark.
I made him whole, and that's it. There you go.
There you go.
It's gonna
Look,
like
Here's the
Go-
thing: if you've been watching for 2.5 hours, you deserve to know this
You
shit.
deserve that little treat.
A little gym.
Like,
Just a
But yeah, I
little
mean-
little treat for the people still here.
yeah, I mean,
For the truly dedicated fans of Matchpoint
of
podcast.
Matchpoint.
All two of them.
Shout
All
out Pat.
fucking two of them.
Shout out Patcheezy, my Wikipedia
Patch is the
goat.
goat. Patch
Yep.
is the fucking
Who
goat.
keeps linking these episodes in our Wikipedia
He does.
pages.
Which,
Oh,
by
that's
the
sick.
way, if you watch this far into this patch, you're missing 3 podcast episodes I was on that aren't on my Wikipedia.
Oh, seriously. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, bro was fact checking like some like beef
You-
stuff on the LMO.
That was so funny.
Funny.
But
I
yeah,
felt bad for Patch during like the roster mania with JJ because
Oh,
like I
God,
sent
yeah.
him the RTV logo. I was like, oh hey, JJ and Co is playing as this now. The next day, they're not playing as reality TV. I don't know what's happening with the roster. I'll let you know. and then Washington Wizards, like, oh here's the logo we're using for them. Oh hey, they forfeited out of the event.
because
Patch is the
okay, no,
unsung
like
hero.
I'm sorry, but like I like Washington Wizards like forfeiting like sure whatever, right? But like I was not like the next up from qualifiers was like intelligence gaming. I was like, yeah, you're not making my league. I'm sorry. Like it's like I'm good. Like I'm good. Like I'm just gonna play the season out. Shorter play days. Easy. Because like it was just like yeah. But
No, it definitely would have been. I think, like looking back, I think it definitely would have been a worse decision to have brought in a team from quals because
Yeah.
we were already halfway through groups. So like they would have to like inherit the Washington Wizards like match record, and then like play forward from there. So I definitely don't think that like looking back on it, I don't think it was the wrong call.
Mm-hmm.
No.
yeah.
I mean, I would
Um,
imagine that like whoever was in that spot just would have been eliminated anyways. So like,
Yeah. Shreds might have made play, or no, they made play-ins.
Yeah, what do you do before you end? I'm gonna leak something.
Normally I just say like, you know, if you want to plug your socials or like anything you're doing, or if you have like a poem, I guess if you want to read it, go ahead.
Wait, I can read a poem.
God, you gave him an idea. Oh,
If
no.
you have a poem that you have written, you can read it.
Okay. That I have written?
Yes.
That you have written.
Mm.
I'm just gonna go
Well,
back
okay.
into middle school now.
Well, okay. My name is now William Carlos Williams. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater, besides the white chickens. I'm John Villarina, also known as Zaesho. You can follow me on Twitter at ZayOnProd. I run this goddamn Crucible shit. I'm poor. That's John Azin, John Fisher at John Azin on Twitter. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what my ad is.
You can hit me up whenever. Let's run this bitch. Also, 50K Crucible LAN December.
Also, John's
Okay,
tag
there he
is Royal as in just for anyone watching.
And not even for Crucible, but like for all events, TPL, XGS, AEL, whatever it is. Go make sure you interact with their stuff. Like it, retweet it, reply. That stuff is super valuable to TOs. Just keep supporting grassroots esports.
Hell
He's
yeah.
back.
You got John's
Are we done?
tag wrong.
Fuck.
No, we're not. We're still live.
Fuck. What is it? Wait, hold on.
That's Royalism.
Oh.
It's just my Uplay is Jonathan. My siege or my Twitter handle is Royalism.
Unfortunate.
Shocking.
Well, do you have a poem, John?
I do not.
I could break out the ukulele to accompany your poem if you have
Fuck
one.
yes.
Oh,
Wait, is
Roses.
it a poem?
Roses are red.
Oh god.
Wait,
Violets
hold on,
are
hold on.
blue.
Yeah, pause.
hold on.
Is this out of tune?
It might be.
Oh fuck it. It's not gonna come through Discord. Unless
It's a
I
drop
change
from
my
his
mic
cancellation.
settings.
Nah. It's all good. It's all
All good. Wait, John, are you
Later.
done with your outro?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, well, wait, is there anything else before I send out? I'm gonna send out. I took it. I'm gonna do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm running a Crucible LAN with a $50,000 prize pool. Bye, guys!
Is that real?
Oh, it's